Hey guys, it's Ben here from RBT in South Melbourne. Little video just regarding fats, okay? So I wanted to clear up a few things. Some of you guys aren't hitting the amount of fats that we need in the macros, and still think we've got a little bit of fat phobia going on. So fat phobia, it's so 1990s, okay? So basically, if you're scared of fats or you think that they're bad and they're associated with bad disease and stuff like that, chances are, the time's gone when we thought that, and the evidence and the science is all showing that now with the majority of the good fats that you're likely to get into your diet. So one thing we want to clear up here is that it's important to get all your macronutrients, your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats. If you're falling behind on fats, it's just as bad as if you're falling behind on one of the other three, okay? So why they're important? Let's take from a training perspective, just to start with, okay? So fats are critical to making up every single cell in your body. The outsides of those cells, so those little spheres, fats make up a good portion of that. And if you don't have enough fat, then it's really, really hard to rebuild cells when they're sort of damaged and broken. And training is all about tearing cells apart or muscles apart so that we can rebuild more toned, stronger, better, that kind of thing. Okay, so it's as much of a building block as protein is. So it's just worth bearing that in mind. Second thing is it looks after your hormones. So when you're training, your hormones, things like your testosterone and your DHEA and those kind of hormones, fats are like a building block that. If you've got a low-fat diet, your hormones plummet and hit the ground. When your hormones plummet and hit the ground, basically you're guaranteed that your sex drive is going to go down, your energy is going to drop, your ability to stay warm is going to drop, your metabolic rate is going to be all over the place, your sleeping is going to go out the window, and your stress is going to go out the window too. And last but not least, you tie that back into training, your performance is going to drop. Okay, so just from that training perspective, bear in mind that fats are critical for all that stuff. Best fats to choose from, like I've got a list that I like to give clients, and on that list is things like avocados. Coconut oil is one of my favorite fats. It's a little bit different from other fats. It's a saturated fat, but again, saturated fat is not bad for you in the right amount. What is bad for you is trans fats. Again, I'll get to that in a sec. Going back to the good fats though, avocado, extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of organic butter, some coconut cream or coconut oil, they're all good stuff to go with. If you're buying good quality protein, so far as meat or seafood, they've got really good quality fats in them as well. If you're buying like red meat and stuff like that, I try to say purchase grass-fed stuff. The grass-fed has a different type of fat. It's better for you than say the grain-fed stuff that we get, if you like that. Same with fish. Fish, if it's wild, caught, a lot better than if it's farmed. Okay, when you get farmed stuff like salmon, ocean trout, I think those are sort of the main two in Australia. Unfortunately, they're not as good quality as what the rest of the world gets if they're buying it wild caught. Okay, so one of the things from a supplement point of view you might want to consider is fish oil, a good quality fish oil, and having some of those with your meal. Fish oil is fantastic. It increases our insulin sensitivity, so it actually makes you use your sugars and carbohydrates better. So whether we're looking for muscle building or fat burning, insulin sensitivity is very, very good because it directs the carbs and the sugars in our diet towards our muscles and away from our body fat. Cool. Worst fats, like I mentioned before, is trans fats. Now these are sort of man-made fats. You don't really find much trans fats in nature. Trans fats come about by the processing methods that we use to make foods basically. So a lot of packaged stuff, guys, unfortunately, that's the kind of stuff that people like to eat and is usually off the nutrition plan a little bit. That's unfortunately where you get a lot of the trans fats. So things like your pastries, your cookies, your biscuits, any pre-packaged kind of meals that deviate away from like whole foods in their form that you would find them in nature, you tend to be where you find your trans fats. So just to summarize, guys, fats aren't bad whatsoever. They're really, really good from your training. They're really, really good for your hormones. And make sure that you're getting your quota that you're got to get in your MyFitnessPal with your macros, and make some good selection with those fats. Thanks, guys. See you next time.